Many of you know Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr.'s rendition of the song Me and My Shadow. Remember the beginning? Like the wallpaper sticks to the wall, like the seashore clings to the sea, like you'll never get rid of your shadow. The genius of Jesus is, per contemporary theologian Richard Rohr, is that Jesus wastes no time on repressing or denying the shadow. It's there in all of us. Frank and Sammy concur. We're closer than pages that stick in a book. We're closer than ripples that play in a brook. Wherever you'll find me, wherever you'll find him, you'll find me. Jesus, instead of denying the shadow, attacks the real problems, the ego, arrogance, and people misusing power. In fact, Jesus has his own way of talking about our shadow. He calls it not seeing the plank or log in our own eye. Once we see the plank or log in our own eye, the speck in our neighbor's eye becomes inconsequential. Jesus stands after a long line of Jewish prophets, in fact, who revealed inconvenient truths to their people. Jesus exposes the shadow too. He confronts the ego and the arrogance, and he calls people to be transformed. Transformation is what we talk about during the church season of Lent. Oh, I know we talk about transformation all year long, but we do so particularly during Lent. We intentionally grapple with the shadow side of us, the rocks, the sticks, the chains. The part Frank and Sammy go on to say, and now to repeat what I said at the start, me and my shadow, they'll need a large crowbar to break us apart. Richard Rohr goes on to illuminate the issue more clearly for us and says, archaic religion, and most of the history of religion, has seen the shadow as the problem. Such religion is about getting rid of the shadow. This is the classic example of dealing with the symptom instead of the cause. We cannot really get rid of the shadow. We can only expose its game, which is in great part to get rid of its effects. Jesus and the prophets deal with the cause, which is the ego. Our problem is not our shadow self as much as our over-defended ego, which always sees and hates its own faults in other people, and thus avoids its own conversion. In other words, we like to look outward, to engage in the blame game and deflect. Look what the other side is doing, we exclaim. My husband, a psychiatrist, laments patients who are so well defended. Breakthroughs for them become quite difficult. I find it good news that Jesus doesn't want us preoccupied with repressing the shadow, because he knows that it does not lead us into personal transformation, empathy, compassion, or patience, but invariably into denial or disguise, repression, and hypocrisy. Do you know Christians who attend churches that make them cognitively rigid people or hateful and prone to attack others for their faults? I do. This is almost the public image of Christianity today, yet God's goal is exactly the opposite. Jesus wants us to beware of our own shadows and where they may be leading us, not others. It's the old plank speck syndrome. As we gain awareness and transform, it may be just as Sammy and Frank sing toward the end of the song, life is going to be a wee wow wee. Here comes the party for me and my shadow and me, me, me. Amen.